Turf is on the line tonight at Osseo High School. It's championship night in Section 6-4A as the Wayzata Trojans take on the Hopkins Royals in high school boys basketball. Hello and welcome to Osseo. John Jacobson along with Orion Iverson. And Ryan, it's the third straight year that these two teams have met in the section championship game. Wayzata has won the last two. Hopkins certainly would like to reverse that tonight. Yeah, well, it's a great rivalry, and I'll tell you what, both teams are really playing well right now. They're coming off big wins in the last round, and they're both playing with a lot of confidence. I think Hopkins winning the two games this season gives them a lot of confidence to believe they can actually break through this year. But both teams are tough. Wayzata knows how to get it done, especially in this building at this time of year. Wayzata lost, as Ryan mentioned, to Hopkins twice. First game a 10-point game, although it was closer than that. And then we did the rematch at Wayzata a few weeks ago. And Hopkins just kind of took Wayzata out of that game, you know, fairly early. It was a 15-point margin, but Hopkins was comfortably ahead. What is the key for Wayzata to try to churn the tide tonight? I think a couple of things. One, they have to be able to knock down perimeter shots early. I think when they make shots early, John, their whole game predicates on that confidence. And two, they got to be able to figure out how to defend Zeke Naji, because no one else in the state of Minnesota has. He's coming off a 46-point game in the last round, but last time they played, he was in the 30s and just dominated physically, and they had no way to stop him. So I want to know defensively, do they change things up? Do they front him and put a guy behind him? How are they going to defend him? That's going to be critical tonight. Let's look at our key players, starting with Wayzata. Camden Heidi is just a freshman, but really a nice player already at varsity level. Well, when you and I were talking about who to highlight, I wanted to pick Camden Heidi because I think tonight he's got to have a monster game. Luke Paulson, Jacob Benega, they got to do what they normally do. Camden Heidi's got the size to help defend Zeke Naji, but he's got to be active on the glass, and they need him to score. He brings a lot of energy. Being a freshman, he can dunk, he's athletic. He's got to be all over the floor tonight, locked in. If he can have a great game, I think he gives Wayzata the scoring that they'll need to score with Hopkins. And for Hopkins, we go with Zeke Naji again, coming off a 46-point game against Park last Friday night, and he's averaged 37.5 points in the two games against Wayzata. Well, and if all of our viewers hopefully got to see the great story you guys did on him. What a remarkable person, too. Plays piano, he's a humble, kind, really nice person, but he's a dominant monster when he's on the court, athletically just dunking the ball. But don't forget, he's got great touch, he's an excellent free throw shooter, and he's physical and he's smart. And if he can have a game where he can control the interior, get every rebound defensively, he's that shot blocking presence too. If he can have that kind of a game, I don't know if anyone can beat Hopkins in the state of Minnesota. We're talking about what Wayzata needs to do. How about for Hopkins? They're I think, feeling a little bit of the pressure of being the #1 seed, trying to get back to state for the first time in 3 years. Upset by Wayzata in this game a year ago. 2 years ago, Wayzata was the favorite, not so much last year, much like tonight. Well, that's why I think if Wayzata gets off to a close start, the pressure is going to start racketing up for Hopkins. They're going to feel it. So I think the first 5-6 minutes of this game are really critical to see who establishes their tone. But for Hopkins, I thought they did the last time these two teams met. They really defended the perimeter well without fouling, and with Zeke Naji back there to kind of deflect shots, there was just nothing going to the basket for Wayzata. And so for Hopkins, I think that they defend, they lock in without fouling, and they have perimeter guys that can knock shots down around Zeke, then they're really hard to defend. It's going to be a good one. The winner goes to the state tournament next week in Minneapolis. We'll take time out and tip this one off. Wayzata Hopkins Section 6-4A Championship Night next on CCX. Go 19-9 Wayzata, 23-4 Hopkins for all the marbles in Section 6-4A for 2019. John Jacobson, Orion Iverson tonight at Osseo High School. Let's look at the starters for each of these teams, starting with the second seed Wayzata Trojans. Jacob Benega, Luke Paulson, veteran backcourt, Keaton Heidi, another senior, Cody Williams, and Camden Heidi, their starting five. Three seniors, a sophomore and a freshman. For the Hopkins Royals, Andy Stafford, Zeke Najee, and Dane Zimmer. Big bodies up front. All seniors. Jalen Gearing, a senior guard. Kerwin Walton, 6'5" junior guard, is the other Hopkins starter. The Royals tonight in black, not new uniforms. We don't see them very often tonight in Wayzata and white.
Kind of intimidating, those black uniforms. Back in black. Hey, they're trying to get the advantage. They've lost the last 2 years to this Wayzata ball club in this gym, so both teams are used to being here. Great crowd. The bands are going. Great energy. A lot of fun.
Yeah, big crowd on hand for this one, as you mentioned. A lot of people behind us, and you can see across the way a good-sized crowd as well, the student section. We are underway. First possession for the Wayzata Trojans.
Well, it's kind of fun, too, when both of these teams play each other. They know what the other one's running. So scouting, you can almost throw out the door. It's just me versus you. Who can make plays and who can defend.
Good ball movement on this first possession, and Camden Heidi knocks down a three.
You couldn't start better. Number one, it's a three, obviously, but two, you get Camden Heidi hitting his first shot. When he plays with confidence, he's a totally different player. That's a big start.
Zeke Najee out high with the basketball for Hopkins. Puts it on the floor for one dribble. Deering missing. Stafford with the offensive rebound. Goes back out with it. And the Royals will reset just for a moment, and Stafford drains a three from the corner.
Well, what a possession for Stafford. Gets the offensive rebound, keeps it going. Great unselfishness. Ball swings back into his hands. Hey, whatever you guys can do, we can do. And 3 for 3.
Here's Benega for three. Off the iron, Zimmer rebounds. Deering front court, right wing Zimmer. Camden Heidi defending him, and now into the hands of Walton.
And if you remember, too, the last matchup, John, Hopkins did a really nice job of playing high-low with those two guys, with Zimmer and Najee. And let's see if they go back to using that, because they really played well off each other.
Traveling on Zimmer before he put the shot up. First turnover of the game. Look at Brian Schnettler, 5th year head coach, 2 state tournament appearances. That 2017 was the first for the program since their 1959 state champion, back when only 8 teams made the state boys basketball tournament.
We've said it before, he's a great coach, a great in-game coach, and also done a great job just building a great program. And they got a lot of great talent coming up, too. He's done an excellent job for Wayzata.
Luke Paulson out high. Stafford comes out, defends him. Back to Benega. Drive by Williams. Back out to Heidi. Good defense early here for Hopkins. Not making anything easy for Wayzata. Heidi, though, is now 2 for 2 on threes.
Well, and it's that offense. It's tough to defend. They keep probing. If they got a matchup they like, they look to attack, and otherwise they're content being patient. Benega makes the drive, forces the help, kicks it out.
Walton missed on a three and rebounded by Camden Heidi. Cody Williams will put up a three. That's not good, and rebounded by Stafford.
And with Wayzata, they can win by the three, and they can also die by the three. And you can see all 4 of their shot attempts early are all threes. They've made 2 of them. But I haven't seen a team that feeds off of a made three like Wayzata does.
Walton's got a better look at the bucket this time. Had himself set and knocks this one down.
And same on the other end. Hopkins, all their perimeter shots so far have been 3-point attempts too. And with Zeke Najee down low, I think that's the right defense. You want to collapse that and make Hopkins make shots from the outside.
Heidi another three. This one won't go, but rebounded by Benega underneath, and he scores.
Oh, the littlest guy on the floor gets the rebound. And he got great position. The other thing I love, John, he got it, went right back up before the shot blockers could get down there.
Now she draws a double team. Deering's open in the corner. Missed. Najee had a hand on the ball, and it's knocked out of bounds by Wayzata.
We're going to take a look here at these knockdown threes. Great penetration. And that's where Hopkins, you got to have a rotation there. You got to get on the open shooter. Camden Heide can knock that down, and you can see Wayzata are doubling Zeke Najee whenever he gets the ball down low, and I think that's a smart strategy. There he kicks it out for the 3 and the knockdown.
Najee put up a 3, not good, rebounded by Zimmer. He'll go back up with it, and he's fouled.
And I'll tell you, I think, John, that's what makes Hopkins so tough is, you know, Zeke Najee at 6'11", he's out on the perimeter. He's a very capable three-point shooter. So you worry about boxing him out, and then you forget about Dane Zimmer at 6'8". He's a relentless offensive rebounder. You got great length at Andy Stafford at 6'4". So, you know, you name it, they can all rebound. Kerwin Walton, too, with 6'5". So Wayzata's got to be disciplined in boxing out. You don't want to give second chance points to Hopkins.
Zimmer 1 out of 2, and it's 8-7. Williams front court, Paulson in the corner.
Well, Luke Paulson's another one you want to keep an eye on. He usually has a knack for making big plays in big games and big shots too.
Benega has it stripped away. Well, thrown back out top and then right back to Wayzata. Benega, nice shot fake, but had nowhere to go with it. Heide to Keaton Heide. Back across. Paulson open. Williams didn't have the ball set, so it didn't go up with the shot here, and traveled.
I'll tell you what, that was great defensive rotation by Hopkins. Wayzata did an excellent job of moving the basketball, and it appeared they were going to have an advantage, but great job rotating and closing out by Hopkins defense. That's what you have to do against Wayzata. They are a very good shooting team, but they're quick, and you don't want to rush out to a shooter and let them blow by you. So they did a great job just containing them.
Really harassing Deering defensively. Najee puts it on the deck, goes baseline and lays it in.
Oh my God, that's an NBA type move right there. Heide was up in his grill. He just ripped it, went through, and just got that great length to finish at the rim. Although we expect dunks, don't we, John? Right. I mean, he was dunking those a couple weeks ago.
Keaton Heide bounce pass underneath, and Camden Heide gets fouled by Zimmer.
I'll tell you what I loved on that possession right there is Heide was driving, and then his younger brother, Camden that time, did a nice job. He was on the baseline. He cut back door. Rather than just standing still, he saw his defender turn his head. He cut right to the basket, and it was a great pass.
Checking in for Wayzata, will be number 3.
Connor Hale, 5'11" senior, is our first substitution tonight. He is in for Keaton Heide.
Well, for Camden, off to a great start. He's got 7 points here early, make that 8. And I just think for a freshman to get that confidence going early in a big game is huge. Then you're not pressing the rest of the game. You've seen a couple of shots go in, you start feeling really good.
Walton backs out. And hands off for Stafford. For Deering, off his hand, and it's Benega has it. He'll take it to the basket and score.
Oh, beautiful finish, too. He had Zimmer, 6'8", trailing him on it, extended that arm, able to finish quick. Beautiful finish.
On to Najee, we get a foul before the shot. He may whistle against Jacob Wildermuth. Look at the last basket.
And you see where he picked his dribble up. I mean, well about knowing that he had to keep that ball out in front of him. That is not an easy finish either. You got to get the right spin on it too. Benega, beautiful finish.
Raekwon Valentin, number 13, in for Hopkins, replacing Deering. Into Zimmer. Valentin back out. Walton, 3 is good.
No hesitation either, and that was deep and contested by Benega. Just when you're 6'5" and have a high release like that, there's really not much a defender can do except hope he misses.
Traveling on Benega.
Yep. You know, I'll tell you, with Hopkins, with Zeke Najee and his ability down low, if they're making perimeter jump shots like that, they might not be beatable, right? I think if you're defending them, you're trying to take away their strengths. You're saying, hey, let's force, you know, Jalen Deering, let's force Kerwin Walton to take threes, and if they're making them, then it's kind of like, wow, where do you go to get a stop?
Tied up at 12, just over 6 minutes played. Tough shot there for Walton, didn't go, and rebounded by Hale.
Well, the next level of his game is going to realize he's got significant height over Benega, and he's got to take him, get physical, get down by the basket, and shoot a jump hook from 2 feet.
Benega deep three. Najee rips that rebound away.
I thought he came from the ceiling there watching that. He was really high up there.
Ball knocked away. Najee gets it back only for a moment. 3-on-0 break and another finish for Benega.
Well, I love the activity of Wayzata's defense. I thought the last meeting they were kind of reserved defensively. They're getting up in the pressure and putting some pressure on them, causing turnovers and able to finish in transition.
And the pass into Najee. I think we're going to get another Wayzata foul. There'll be another one on Wildermuth trying to defend Najee. That's his second.
13.
Yep. And you know, if you're Wayzata, you'll live with that. You're being physical. You're trying to force Najee out of his comfort zone, get him off of that block where he's so deadly and hard to guard.
Carter Bierke, 6'7" freshman, number 32 in now. Try to get some defense and a body on Najee. Here's Zimmer in tight, scores.
Beautiful offense, great spacing. And Zimmer kept it simple, just an easy jump hook with his length.
Williams baseline, nowhere to go there. Benega up. Basket, let's see, we might have a foul before that shot. Yeah, they're not going to wave off the basket here.
It was a shot fake, and it looked like a Hopkins defender landed on him as he was making the pass. So it was a great move. You can see this great backdoor cut here, and Heidi, you can see it kind of shot fakes. There's the foul.
Jalen Tremmel.
Before the pass, so that's the right call.
25, Jalen Tremmel, his first, second team.
Bierke hands off to Benega. And Eddie Benega there draws the foul. Eddie, the younger brother, the sophomore.
Well, being number 1, Jalen Deering, his first, 13.
Fouls on Jalen Deering, his first.
Jacob Benega, I think congratulations on being the all-time leading scorer too in Trojan history. Pretty unbelievable.
Missed on this one, and Najee rebounds. That broke a scoring record set just 3 years ago by his brother Johnny, and they'll both play next year up in Moorhead. Najee taking it to the basket. He was going to go for the dunk, but Bierke made sure he didn't get that far.
Well, 2 things. One, that was such a great move. A shot fake, and you just rip through hard. If you're Wayzata, you want to have help defense there, and you know this is easy for us to say it. Try to take a charge on that coming at you. Because if you can maybe try to force him away from the basket. When he goes that hard to the basket, it's one dribble, one step, and he's at the rim. And actually a good foul. You don't want to give him a 3-point play in a situation like that.
Kenny Novak, 30th year, has 7 state championships, all here in the 2000s. The most recent one 3 years ago.
He's just a staple of one of the greats of all time here in Minnesota. And to think that he was coaching back when I was playing 20+ years ago, and he's still doing it at a really high level, and he gets these kids. He's got so much talent, John, over the years, but he gets them to buy in and to play for each other.
Benega moves it off of. They're going to say it's going to stay with Wayzata. Hopkins, certainly, their bench was jumping up on that one. Apoplectic.
For those that think Coach Novak maybe still not into it, take a look. He is as animated as ever. I love his expressions when he doesn't get a call.
Williams back out. Keaton Heidi misses. Bierke fighting for the loose ball. Eddie Benega gets it erased by Najee, but Jacob Benega comes up with it, and then Deering commits a foul on him. Now it's 2 on Deering.
That's big. You remember, Deering had a monster game against Wayzata the last time. And that's just great hustle, great effort. And I love it. Go take it right at Zeke Najee. He was able to block the shot, so what? I like Eddie Benega there attacking the rim.
Deering out, Kerwin Walton back in now for the Royals. Paulson to Williams. Floater on the baseline, not good. Ripped down on the rebound by Tremmel.
Well, and that's what Zeke Nagy will do to you. It makes you take those kind of floaters instead of one more dribble at the rim.
Nagy trying to attack again and gets fouled. He got a lot of free throw attempts last week against St. Louis Park, and that was part of his 46 points. He attacks the basket, and he's a good free throw shooter.
Well, and to be honest, he's 6'11". You think he's not that strong. He's really strong for how big he is too, and he's only going to get stronger as he's gets older. But what I've seen so far is just the toughness and the strength that he's attacking the rim with. There's really no option but to foul him. I love when great players with great physical attributes play to that strength, right? He knows if he keeps that ball up high and goes hard, there's nothing that anyone on Wayzata can do about it. And if you're Wayzata, it's a great foul. You want to make him earn it at the free throw line rather than give him a three-point play or give him a dunk, too.
Oh, that pass sailing behind Camden Heide from his brother Keaton, and turnover for Wayzata.
Well, I was just going to say Wayzata's done a really nice job at taking care of the basketball up until that point, and that was something in the last meeting. Felt that they turned the ball over a little bit too much, and so far tonight they've gotten really good shot attempts.
Walton attacking, it's a little step into the basket.
George Gervin is smiling somewhere watching that finger roll. How about the 6'5", the length by Walton, and still with the touch and the scoop. Beautiful finish.
Biggest lead of the game for Hopkins. Camden Heide open. Fake Nagy, but then traveled, or we're going to get a foul. It's like a foul is going to be whistled against Hopkins.
And that's kind of the predicament that Wayzata puts you in defensively. You sprint out because you want to contest a three, but they can all put it on the floor too, and so you got to kind of close out under control. But I think you want to run them off the three-point line if you can.
Second foul on Tremmel, 15th foul. Paulson attacks off the glass and in for his first basket.
He had a couple of those kind of finishes last meeting against Hopkins. He's very quick and he's very long with his arms, able to finish and put just the right amount of spin on it too. That's not easy to do.
Stafford off the hands of Tremmel, or of Valentin. Hale to the corner. Camden Heide long on this three, and Nagy the rebound.
Oh, nice job by Hale, attacking the rim hard. Got a great shot for his teammate.
Bounce passed into Zimmer, back out. Nagy, three ball, it's good.
You see, he's excited, he's pumped up. He is a complete inside and outside player. He's got great touch. You've seen him knock free throws down there. You see him knock the three-pointer down. Nice play, too, by Zimmer, feeding his fellow big man.
Williams, drive, kick out. Paulson cut off, back out. Three-point try is good for Hale. Now, why is that a timeout?
Oh, that's a big shot. 6-point game, you hit that three, you cut it back down to 3. But here's a nice play. Great kick out that time. Zeke Nagy squared up, able to knock it down. You can see he's excited, knowing the moment and the stage. Great drive and kick. And that's, it's an action that Wayzata does really well. A guy drives baseline, they teach their wing players to follow behind them. And so many players, you watch at any level, they just stand still. Wayzata does such a good job, John. They keep moving, they find themselves open, and then of course you got to knock it down.
Well, we've not been disappointed by this game so far, the first 10+ minutes, right?
Well, a lot of these, section finals, there's nerves and it's kind of sloppy basketball. I feel like both teams have come out sharp, really executing their game plan, shooting the ball well. And we've seen there's a lot of talent on the floor here.
Valentin will bring it up for Hopkins here. They lead it by 3. The biggest lead was 6 until that Connor Hale 3. Nagy above the block, rips through. Foul before the shot attempt.
That's where you do double them. You see how much traffic was down there What I love he did a quick spin, split the double team, and if you watch where that ball was, he keeps it high where no guard can come over and slap it down. You see so many big guys, they bring that ball down. He does a nice job of keeping it up high and going quick before the help can come.
6 team fouls. Najee put this one up a little strong, but Zimmer gets the rebound on the weak side. They swing it back out high. Walton 3, it's good. Yeah. Boy, he is shooting the ball well tonight.
Well, and all set up by an offensive rebound, right? A second chance point. You force Najee into taking a tough shot, and then you got to get that rebound. You allow Dane Zimmer to do what he does so well, which is get second chance points for his team.
Paulson launch a 3. Short, rebound by Zimmer. Stafford lobbed to Zimmer on the baseline. Back out Najee. Valentin to Walton. And Najee again draws the double. Throws it and a turnover. Right to Benninga. Jacob leading it to Hale of the layup.
Great patience by Benninga. Sometimes people give the ball up too soon. That time he waited until Connor Hale, all he had to do was catch and finish. Nice fast break. And again, an aggressive double team on that last possession by Wayzata, forcing the ball out of Zeke Najee and then playing that passing lane, which led to a turnover.
Walton to Zimmer, working on Najee and get another foul. It'll be on Keaton Heidi, his first, and he'll send Najee to the line for a 1-and-1.
You know, Wayzata frustrated because they're trying to be physical, trying to move him off the block.
Before warm-ups, about 6 o'clock tonight, they had a shoot-around for both teams. Najee was one of the first ones out. First thing he did, for a good 10 minutes, he just shot free throws. That's it.
Yeah. Well, he knows if he plays the right, he's going to get there a lot. And the problem is he's just so big and strong that, you know, in order to prevent him from where he wants to go, you almost have to extend your arms and push. And depending on how referees are calling it, it's not an easy thing. You know, especially when Dane Zimmer has the ball on the perimeter, that's who I'm doubling off of.
Missed that one. He's 4 of 6 from the line so far. And a total of 9 points. Five-point game with 6 minutes to play here in the first half. Winner goes to state. 4A tournament starts Wednesday morning at Target Center. Knocked out of bounds by Hopkins. Yerke will put up a 3. How about that from the freshman?
That's a big-time play. And he's got great size, really in there mostly for rebounding and defense. And size, that type steps out, great driving kick, and knocks down a huge 3.
Stafford trying to take it hard to the basket. Blocked by Wayzata. Back come the Trojans. Paulson now to Benninga. Back out Paulson for the lead.
Oh, halfway down. Yeah, you can feel the collective breath from the crowd, the Wayzata crowd. That ball was halfway down and just rimmed out.
Walton across to Najee, who gets fouled.
And you can see, I think that Wayzata is making a concerted effort to not allow him to get a dunk and a breakaway. They are being physical with him. If he's got an open break, they're fouling him. So again, I think that's a smart play and a smart foul.
The Wildermuth's already picked up 3 trying to defend Najee. That's 2 on Carter Bierke.
Well, that's why you have that depth and those big bodies. It's really for fouls. And I mean, paid off, he missed, but that's what you got to do. You got to get the defensive rebound.
Ends up as a 3-point possession anyway, as Walton knocks down his 4th 3 in the first half.
And I think 2 of them, John, have come on off offensive rebounds. So I mean, that's 6 points right there.
Benninga tried to answer, well short. Hopkins saying it was tipped, or Wayzata saying it was tipped, and it was.
Yeah, offensive rebound off the missed free throw, and again, Walton, that's a good 4 or 5 feet behind the three-point line. I'm telling you, if he's knocking shots like that down, he makes Hopkins extremely difficult to defend.
Whistle and a foul here on Walton.
Well, the freshman that time showing his athletic ability, going up with one hand, grabbing that ball way above the rim. Nice job maintaining possession of it.
16 fouls now on Hopkins, so Wayzata will shoot the rest of the way. Stripped away from Keaton Heide. Ball ahead to Stafford, loose ball. Najee gets it, goes up and will go to the line for 2 more.
And again, I think a smart foul by Cody Williams that time, not giving Zeke Najee a chance for a thunderous dunk and get the crowd behind it. Instead, you foul him and you make him earn it at the free throw line.
I don't think I'm exaggerating to say he could shoot 25 free throws tonight. This will be his 9th one already coming up.
I see Wayzata's got 9 fouls. I'd say, what, 8 of them have been against Zeke Najee.
That one comes out, so just 5 of 9 so far. Keaton Heide's pass kicked. Stay with Wayzata. 4:20 to go in the half. Hopkins by 6, matching their biggest lead. How about top to Keaton Heide and hands back off for Jacob Benega. Scores it over Najee off the glass.
That's not an easy finish either. He's got that great touch on those floaters. You know, that's hard to get the right amount of height and the amount of, you know, to put it off that glass the right way. It's just not an easy shot.
Walton's pass deflected and came right back to him, and he hits another 3.
Just how they drew it up, I think, too. Hey, when it's going your way, it's going your way. And right now for Kerwin Walton, he's making a pass, it's deflected right back. Does he get an assist for that too?
He should, right? 17 first half points for Kerwin Walton. And a Zimmer with the block on Keaton Heide. Here's Najee. I think it's no deflected, no foul here. Off Wayzata. They'll stay with Hopkins.
There's not many 6'11" guys that can get the ball in transition like that and have the dribbling and the wherewithal to try to get to the basket, but good hands by Williams to knock it out.
Najee, Zimmer's wide open.
Yep. And that's what you have to do. If someone's doubling off of you, as a player, you got to follow that double team and cut right to the basket, and you'll be wide open. That was great vision by Zeke Najee, and a great cut, too, by Zimmer, not staying put.
Here's Hale starting to penetrate, nowhere to go with it. They find Williams in the corner, missed, and rebounded by Valentin. Valentin handoff to Walton. Back to Najee, trying to hit Zimmer again, and this time missed on the pass out of bounds.
That was the right idea. I don't know if he thought Dane was continuing his cut on the baseline, but just let him a little bit too much.
Bjerke in for Williams, or excuse me, in for Keaton Heide.
In the game for the Royals, number 0, Josh
Fogel, senior guard, in for Wayzata, or for Hopkins. Fogel's got it and gets it to Walton. So another empty possession here for Wayzata. Stafford, bounce pass down to Fogel. Lost it, and it's into the hands of Benega. Hale back to Williams. Had it ripped away, but it's into the hands of Camden Heide. Made a couple of threes early, but hasn't hit since.
Well, this is where Wayzata can sometimes get in trouble, as they relied so much on the three-point shot. Where if it's not fouling, there's a turnover going baseline. If your three's not falling, who's going to be that guy that can get to the rim and get a couple of easy baskets?
3 straight turnovers for Hopkins as they are unable to build on this 9-point margin. We get down toward 2 minutes to play in the half. Paulson finds an opening, and Najee erases that.
You know what, though? That's great offense, and that's your nice job by Luke Paulson attacking the basket. I think you have to have a mixture of that along with perimeter shooting. And he's, you know, Luke Paulson is so quick. But how about the length there and the arm span of Zeke Najee coming over to erase that?
Paulson back to Bjerke and into Paulson's hands. And in both games that Wayzata has played against Hopkins, they've scored a lot of points that way, going to the basket like Bjerke just did there. Yeah. Missed, back out to the corner. Benninga, the Hale, fakes on the three, gives it off. Bjerke, another three ball, long and rebounded by Najee. Fogel into the front court. To Zimmer, Najee above the block, zips it to the corner to Fogel, to Walton. Back to Najee, trying to score on Bjerke, missed on the reverse, but Zimmer's there to clean up.
Well, that's when Dane Zimmer's at his best. Everyone's focused on Zeke Najee and him being aggressive, which really made that play. Defense collapses down there, and all Zimmer has to do is just follow it, and he's got great length and touch too. And I tell you this, every time I watch Hopkins, he'd be a superstar on any other team. He's that good of a player.
Now an 11-point lead. And we're going to get a foul on the drive by Camden Heide. It'll be foul on Fogel, his first.
Well, and that's the other thing that can do. Number one, you kind of stop the clock. You get a second to rest. You get some free throws. But if you also are attacking Hopkins, that's another strategy. Is go right at Zeke Najee. Try to get him into foul trouble. Go right at Walton and Zimmer and see if you can't get those guys to foul you as well. So that was a big-time play by the freshman there driving.
Williams and Keaton Heide back in for Wayzata. Jalen Deering back in, replacing Fogel for Hopkins. One more foul shot coming for the freshman, looking for his 10th point tonight. Got it. And Wildemuth back in, replacing Camden Heide. 40 seconds to play. Hopkins by 9, the biggest lead a moment ago at 11. Pass across, missed Walton, and turnover by Hopkins. Trojans, after a scoring drought, hoping to finish with a little flurry here offensively to get this margin down. Fogel back in along with Camden Heide. See if Wayzata holds for one here. Benninga to Paulson, under 30 to go. Williams holding, 20 seconds to play. Down to 15 now. Hand off, and it's stripped away by Walton. 5 seconds to go in the half. The Najee mid-range jumper is good. And a big finish for the Royals. Najee putting that lead back up to double digits with his buzzer-beating 15-footer to make it 39-28 in favor of Hopkins. Good first half. Wayzata goes a little cold near the end, though. And Hopkins will take advantage and continue to score to make the margin 11 points here at halftime as they go for their third straight win over Wayzata this season. Let's go down to the floor. And Orion Iverson standing by with Brian Schnettler.
Hey, Coach, what'd you think there in the first half?
We didn't play very well. We didn't make shots like we're capable of. Our double rotations weren't as good as they've been in practice, but hard to simulate what they got inside. So hopefully we can do a little better job this half.
Having played them twice and knowing that you can score against them, give you confidence here in the second half?
I hope so. We've had a really good couple of weeks of practice since we played them last. Played well in a couple of games, and hopefully we'll come out in the second half and be a little more relaxed and play the way we can.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back to you, John.
Thanks very much. We'll hear from Coach Ken Novak Jr. before the start of the second half. Hopkins 39, Wayzata 28. More coverage of the Section 6 4A boys basketball tournament from Osseo High School after this timeout.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
With Orion Iverson, I'm John Jacobson at Osseo High School, Section 6 4A Boys Basketball Championship. Hopkins leading Wayzata, the 1 seed versus the 2 seed. 39-28 Royals is the score. We mentioned in our pregame the last 2 seasons, Wayzata has won this section final. Go back to 2017, Ryan, an historic night and game that you and I did here. Wayzata was the #1 seed that year. And the favorite coming into this game, and they played well that night, shot the ball well, and a senior-dominated group. Although a couple of these younger guys who are now seniors did play in that game, won that night, 66-51 to get the state for the first time since 1959, and young Zeke Najee scoring there, but it was Wayzata's night as they went on to state and celebrate that section championship.
Well, that was a fun team to watch. I mean, they were tough and played hard, and to your point, they were the favorite that year.
Here's a look at championship games since 2014. Sections have changed a little bit in that Hopkins and Eden Prairie were in this section final a couple of years. I think that was over at Cooper High School. Hopkins winning in 2014 and 2015. Cooper came very close to knocking off Hopkins in 2016. The Royals, we mentioned earlier, went on to win state that year in 4A. And then Wayzata with back-to-back section championships here in 2017 and 2018. Highlights from the first half of this one now. It was a good start for Wayzata in this game, really getting good ball movement. Camden Heidi knocking down a couple of threes early. And for Wayzata, they didn't force anything. They took what came to them and they able to hit from the perimeter as well.
Yeah, I thought Hopkins, the difference really, they shot the ball incredibly well from three-point land. And, of course, you got that guy inside causing a lot of attention there. You kick it out, and Walton with a monster first half, hitting a number of threes. There's a couple with defenders right in his face, and it just doesn't matter.
The break there, and Benegay able to finish with the layup. Najee knocking down a three, his one made three-pointer in the first half. Connor Hale, lefty, knocking down a three-pointer.
You know it's going right for you when you make a bad pass, it gets deflected right back to you. And what did Kerwin have? 5 three-pointers in that first half? Yeah, just 17 big points in the first half.
Camden Heidi leading the way with 10 for Wayzata. As you mentioned, Walton with 5 threes, 17 points in all. Najee with 12, 5 of those from the free throw line. And they lead by 11 at the break.
Well, I think if you talk about the storylines, it's obviously Kerwin Walton and his three-point shooting. But I think if it's Hopkins, you get so caught up in watching them offensively, you forget how good they are defensively. And they're holding the team in Wayzata that is coming off a couple of really high-scoring games to 28 first-half points. I think that's absolutely remarkable. for as hard as it is to defend Wayzata, I think Hopkins, their defense, gets a lot of credit there in the first half.
Look at the section bracket, how these teams got here. Just 7 teams in this section this year. And Hopkins had a first-round bye. Wayzata puts over 100 points up in their first game, then defeats Armstrong, pulled away. That was actually a 2-point game at halftime, pulled away from Armstrong in the second half. Hopkins defeating St. Louis Park in their semifinal.
Well, these first few minutes of the second half, John, I think could be really big for Wayzata here. They can come out and just break into that lead a little bit and believe in themselves. And then I always tell people when a team plays with confidence, they can accomplish anything. The worst thing that can happen is they come out and they give up a couple turnovers, a couple quick shots to Hopkins as well.
Take a break, come back. More basketball from Osseo High School after this.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Back to the floor we go. Orion Iverson standing by with Ken Novak.
Coach Kerwin Walton with 5 3-pointers. That was great, but I thought defensively you guys were fantastic. What'd you think?
You know, we broke down a few times. We let them beat us to the base and started causing some rotations. They're good. They shoot the ball. They move the ball. You can't give them opportunities. But we're trying to guard.
How fun is this, being in the section finals, playing these guys for a third time?
Well, I'll tell you, it'll be fun, and we'll see what happens afterwards.
In about 45 minutes.
This is going to be a tough half here.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach. Back to you, John.
All right, thanks very much, Ryan, and thanks to both coaches as well. Well, I mentioned Hopkins boys trying to make it to state for the first time in 3 years. The Hopkins girls are back at state for the 5th season in a row. 6 nights ago at the Lindbergh Center, it was Wayzata and Hopkins meeting in the section final, and just like the 2 regular season meetings, third time around, just as strong for Hopkins girls. Ryan, I know you did that game with Jay Wilcox, and Hopkins looking very much like the #1 team in the state.
Yeah, they were fantastic, and they proved it again today, being a good Lakeville North team. And I just think with Paige Beckers and the supporting cast that she has, they're playing at a really high level. And very similar to the boys team, I think, as far as I think you have a dominating player that no one can guard, but you got some secondary players that would be superstars on any other team, and a lot of depth and talent. So I think both of the Hopkins girls and Hopkins boys have the ability to make a deep run this year.
Hopkins will play in the semifinals Thursday night against Centennial. And here's highlights from their game this morning against Lakeville North. North got out to an 8-7 lead, but then that was it. That was their last lead of the game, and then Hopkins does what they do. Paige Beckers went off for 29 points. Talk about Zeke Najee. Here's his little sister, Maya Najee, just a freshman, at 13 points today.
Well, that's big-time footwork right there for a post player, much less a freshman. And Paige Beckers, again, just so tough to guard. There's Najee hitting the perimeter shot. She's been watching Zeke shoot. She says, I can shoot too. Yeah, they're a complete team, and they're here supporting their boys' teams tonight. But congratulations to the girls program on a big first-round win. It's always good getting that first state tournament game out of the way.
Let's look at our statistics as far as shooting, and look at the three-point field goal. Wayzata kind of lives and dies by it. Hits them early, but overall 4 of 16, whereas Hopkins has knocked down 7 of 11.
Yeah, Hopkins isn't going to shoot as many, but so far tonight they've been much more efficient with it. And again, they have that inside presence to kind of build around.
Najee baseline right, not good, and rebounded by Benninga.
It's great box out right there. And again, I think if you have to make a choice, you want Zeke Najee to shoot a jump shot.
Paulson's shot not good. Deering might have got enough hand on that. Walton ahead. Here's Najee getting it down low, trying to put it up and get a foul whistled on Wayzata.
How about Camden Heidi there going after that shot block, and he got it too, but there was some contact before that. But
To the line, 22, Zeke Najee.
Najee back to the line.
Foul is on number 13, Ethan Heidi. His first, team first.
So Najee 6 of 11 from the free throw line and 13 points. Yeah, 1 out of 2. So he struggled a little bit from the stripe tonight, but it is the biggest lead tonight now for Hopkins at 12. Here's Williams attacking. He hasn't scored yet tonight. Comes up short here. Deering looking up court. Deering, another guy who hasn't scored, is a big scorer for them. Walton cannot miss tonight.
I keep waiting for him to look over at us and do the Michael Jordan shrug like that Jordan did against Portland in the NBA Finals. Like, what's going on? I just can't miss.
And the steal, here's Walton. He'll attack, high off the glass. Najee trying to foul up, that's not good. Loose ball on the floor, off Wayzata.
Yeah, he's obviously that was way too close of a shot for Curran. That's just great attack there by Hopkins. Great job by Wayzata battling too.
Najee on the block, off the glass, up and in.
That's incredible footwork. We just showed his younger sister in the state tournament doing a move similar to that. There's a timeout for Wayzata. But that's great footwork that not a lot of 6'11" kids in high school can do.
Well, this one, Wayzata taking a timeout, close to getting away from them right now. It's 17. Still a lot of basketball to play, but you're in a deep hole against a good team.
Well, I talked about it at half, these first couple minutes, because when you've lost to a team twice already this year, if you keep it close, then you start to believe. If it goes the other way, you can start to think, oh, here we go again. We know what's going to happen. So that's why I thought these first couple minutes were key. I look at Cody Williams on that last drive he had, and he got a great lane. He's such a strong kid. He's got to be able to jump stop and go off 2 feet, use his strength as an asset for him instead of kind of off of the the wrong foot and off balance. And if you're Wayzata coming off of a timeout here, you got to get a good shot, you got to get a basket, and you got to get confidence, and you got to get energy, and you got to just a couple plays here and there, get your crowd back into it. Down 17 with about 17 minutes left. That's a point a minute. So if you look at it like that, it's very doable.
A few empty spots here, but not many. To look around Osseo behind us and across the way from where we are. So we'll see what the Trojans do as they try to get on the board to start here in the second half. Going to foul away from the ball on Stafford. His first foul of the second half on Hopkins. Paulson will lob it in, out high to Keaton Heidi. Paulson off for Camden Heidi. Keaton Heidi will go off the glass and finish.
That was great offense, great hard probing dribble attacks. They got the matchup they wanted. You see how hard Heidi drove to the basket that time, was able to explode and strong finish. That was a great possession.
Najee draws a double team, kicks it back out. Deering, and his pass intercepted by Camden Heidi. Now come the Trojans. Off for Paulson. He'll line up the 3. Not good. Chased down in the corner, and a long rebound to Benninga. Comes through it, back out. Heidi another 3. That one won't go, and the rebound to Stafford. So their perimeter shooting continues to be a little off so far, and tonight for the most part after a hot start. Stafford into Najee, down low, up off the glass, and he's fouled, and they'll shoot 2.
Oh, nice shot fake by Najee that time. And this was great offense. Look at those hard dribble drives. It's hard to guard. Great switch of the ball there, moving it to the outside. Nice finish by Keaton Heide.
Another miss for Najee.
Well, and I think Wayzata said, hey, no dunks, nothing easy. We have plenty of fouls to give and plenty of bodies. Make Zeke Najee earn it from the free throw line, and they've done that.
That comes in as about a 75% free throw shooter, but he's not been close to that so far tonight. Benega picks up the loose ball, missed, got it back. Swinging around to Williams, he'll drive, nice dish off, and Benega will go to the line for 2. He's fouled by Deering.
What's the difference there, John? They were going to the basket, and I love that. Shots aren't falling to it. Doesn't mean we got to give up. We got to attack, attack, attack. Nice job that time.
First free throw up and off for Benega's first time to the line tonight.
You know, and I was thinking too, off of a made free throws, does Wayzata maybe look to apply some pressure, some type of full court, see if you can maybe steal a couple of possessions, get a couple of turnovers off of it?
Not the second one. 9 points now for the senior. 14-point game. Pressure in the backcourt. Walton able to beat it with a pass to the front court to Valentin. Deering came out with after that third foul. Walton to Valentin. I think he thought about loading up on the 3 and thought better, but then Walton wasn't looking and missed on the pass here from Stafford. Here's Paulson, reverse layup.
He's so good at those, just hanging in the air and finishing with his left hand on the other side.
And Hopkins will use a timeout.
Yeah, nice job by Benega pushing it. Look at that finish, great spin. And that's what I'm talking about. You get some momentum going to the basket. You cut it down to 12, your crowd's into it. Now you start believing again, and just those little runs, and it really started with their defensive intensity, forcing a turnover, and then again, not just settling for 3-point shots.
5 points in a row for Wayzata. (45-33), 14:55 to go. The tournament, as I mentioned, begins next Wednesday at Target Center.
It'll be interesting to see, obviously, which teams make it, but who would get the top spot, the top seed? I think there's a couple of teams that have a pretty good argument for it.
Well, if Park Center wins on Friday, being the top-ranked team, which doesn't always translate, you would think they'd get the #1 seed.
We'll you wonder, if other teams, like let's say Hopkins were to make it, would teams outside of this area feel like Hopkins is more deserving of it? Or, it'll be interesting to see.
Park Center's first got to get by Champlin Park in that Section 5 final that Ryan and I will have for you on CCX Friday night. Walton backing out. Now will attack the baseline. Back out into the hands of Najee. Almost lost it. Zimmer to Walton. Into Stafford. To Zimmer and back to Walton.
And really kind of the first time, John, tonight that Hopkins looked a little bit tentative offensively, a little shaky. You can hear the energy of the crowds into it.
Najee finishes with a reverse layup.
And that's where Cody Williams has to take one more step laterally to get in front of that and try to take a charge, try to divert Zeke Najee from attacking the basket like that.
Benega has nowhere to go with it, comes back out. Paulson, 3, well short, out of bounds. This one not tipped, it's Hopkins basketball.
And they just haven't got a good rhythm shooting outside. And again, with Wayzata, it's contagious. They get 1 or 2 of those to drop. All of a sudden, you'll see them make 4 or 5 in a row sometimes.
Walton, not good for once on a 3. Loose ball underneath, out of bounds off Wayzata.
Oh, well, that's just great effort by that young man right there, Jacob Benega. Giving up a ton of height, ton of size and length, but just fighting for it on the ground.
Zimmer back out to Najee. Down into the baseline. Walton will try from there. That's not good. And rebounded by Williams. Here comes Cody Williams on the attack and puts it right at Najee. Ball knocked out of bounds. No foul though. But it will be Wayzata basketball.
Well, two things. One, that was a great drive by Cody Williams that time. Using his strength. That is what he is so good at. You can see him. That's a good non-call too. He was forcing the contact there, but that's a great drive. Even though he didn't score, he's got to do more of that. And two, how good is Zeke Najee with playing defense without fouling too? You know teams are trying to go right at him. He does a great job of using his length without fouling.
Hale and Bierke in for Wayzata. Tremmel and Deering for Hopkins. Another 3-ball short. This one out of bounds from Hale.
You know, those are just uncharacteristic. I think Hale's an excellent shooter. You know, shoots at over 40%. Jacob Benega, 41%. Luke Paulson, 44%.
Najee underneath for 2 more. 16-point game. Excuse me, Ron.
No, I was just going to say, you can't give him those easy kind of layups like that.
Benega scores in his foul.
Over the basket, number 2, Jacob Benega. You'll go line for a chance at a 3-point play.
And just that little hesitation there caused Zeke Najee to stand up, and he's able to split the double team. And I think Jacob Benega, I know he's a great shooter, but I think when he does that, when he's slashing and driving to the basket, he's so crafty. He's deceptively quick. He changes speeds. He's so good at that. I think for Wayzata to get back into this game, they got to get on the back of Jacob Benega. He's got to attack like he has never attacked before.
Walton to Deering. Walton into Zimmer. Walton drive. And we get a foul before the shot. Hold on Paulson.
Luke Paulson, his first, team third. In the game for Wayzata, 22, Cody Thompson.
Cody Williams back in. Tremmel across to Walton. Deering in the corner. Najee. Pass deflected. Walton got it. Back into the hands of Tremmel. Najee off his hand. The pass a little bit high from Deering. Turnover Hopkins.
Well, it looked like he was coming out to set a ball screen for Deering.
Benega pull-up shot. Not good.
And they just can't get any of those jump shots to fall.
Here's Deering working on Williams. Wayzata playing good defense. And Hopkins not forcing anything either here. And they've got the lead and things working their way. They want another turnover like they've had 2 in a row now. And Benega able to finish with another layup.
Well, that's it. The nice thing when you have a lead is you don't have to force it. You can make Wayzata really extend your defense. But that's just great competitive defense there by Wayzata. Again, ball pressure leads to a turnover. It leads to a layup.
Najee, Zimmer's wide open.
I can tell you, if Zeke Najee can turn and face the double team so he can see the floor, he's delivered passes like that. And every time Dane Zimmer has cut right to the basket, he's gotten a wide open layup off of it. He's got to continue to do that.
Bierke's 3, not good. 4 out of 21 Wayzata tonight on 3-point tries. Here's Walton. Zimmer back to Walton. He'll load up another 3. Not good. Bierke rebounds. Najee slow to get up. They've got numbers. Wayzata does. And Williams has it stripped away. And a nice defensive play by Tremmel. And then it went off Williams and out of bounds.
Okay, great move. That ball wasn't stripped. He just dropped it. Yeah, it was a great move. That's twice now. I thought he's made the right play by attacking the rim hard. Just hasn't been successful for him, but he's got to keep doing that.
On to Najee, trying to get it to Zimmer again. Wayzata active hands, and they're able to deflect it and they get the steal.
Well, Williams that time did a nice job of baiting him into that pass, playing center field there, able to anticipate and get the steal.
Keaton Heide, one dribble, back out. Paulson. Bierke to Williams. Williams into the lane, lost it. Turnover Wayzata. Williams hurt back of the play. Hopkins has numbers here. They go down to Najee, stripped, and he'll go to the line.
Pretty good defense right there. You see, he kind of lost his footing there. And Cody Williams, he's obviously frustrated. He's struggling a little bit offensively. But again, I think that's the right play, and that's what they need. They just need him to finish those.
Najee to the line. This one good.
His second, 14.
Jacob Benega and Wildermuth back in.
Well, and at some point too, if you're Wayzata, you got to look at the clock, and you got to stop trading baskets, and you got to start gaining baskets. And Hopkins doing a nice job, just kind of maintaining this lead right now, up by 16 with 10 to go. Give Zeke Najee a quick minute, Kerwin Walton a minute too, see if they can buy a couple minutes of rest for their superstars.
53-37, here's a steal for Deering. And they'll go to the line for two.
Well, Deering did a great job that time jumping the play. He'd seen it a couple times already tonight, gotten that passing lane. And I thought too, a really great hustle by that young man. Watch Benega, never gives up on the play. Look at his hustle, trying to get that block. You just love guys that compete like that too.
Deering averages 11 points a game. That's his first point tonight.
Yeah, he's been really quiet offensively. And that's kind of what makes Hopkins really, really good, is they can have a guy or two that are quiet and they pick it up with other players and other production.
Limited by foul trouble in the first half, but he makes both free throws here.
And you remember, Walton was relatively quiet the last time these two teams played, and Deering had the big game.
Spins off for Eddie Benega. Foul on the floor on Hopkins. Fouls on Stafford, his second.
Foul number 11, Andy Stafford, his second, 14.
Paulson, three. That's off. Tipped in the air. Tipped again, and Stafford finally comes out of there with it.
Another one for Wayzata, halfway down, just couldn't quite get it to fall.
Handoff. Deering to Valentin. Stafford. Deering from the corner, way long. And we're going to get a foul on Stafford coming over the top of Eddie Benega. Najee back in, along with Walton. Valentin out. And Stafford out. Halfway through the second half. Wayzata down 18. Back out high, it's Paulson. Baseline shot falling away from the basket, missing is Keaton Heide. Here's Walton, front court. The Tremel and back to Najee.
And I think Hopkins too, offensively, they play with a nice pace. They've got this lead, they're not rushing anything, they're not taking forced shots or quick shots. They're generally getting whatever they want offensively, and they're taking some time off the clock too.
Najee down low. Stafford or Zimmer had nowhere to go with it, and they had to come back out with it. Najee lost the ball as he tried to attack the basket. And here's Jacob Benega. Camden Heide. Ball deflected by Najee out of bounds. Wayzata basketball. We get Williams back in, replacing Eddie Benega. Williams back out. Camden Heide. Hands off to his brother Keaton, hoping this isn't his final high school game. Now it's Benega, and he gets fouled. Foul's going to be on Jalen Tremmel, his third.
His third, 16. In the game for the Royals, number 11, Andy Stafford.
Stafford back in, replacing Tremmel. Ball deflected. Turnover Wayzata.
There has to be a little bit more urgency for Wayzata, John, on offense. The guys are cutting, not really looking for the ball. They got to get baskets. They got to get them quick.
Zimmer to Najee. Turns, and he'll go to the line for two.
You know, that was against a really good double team. Jacob Benega came over and doubled, and Zeke Najee had the wherewithal just to know, hey, all I have to do is turn and face, keep the ball up high, and I can get my shot off.
First foul shot up and in. 22 points. Don't you feel like it's a quiet 22 though?
Well, a lot of it's coming from the free throw line, and he's missed a lot of free throws, so you tend to think, he's not scoring that much. But what'd you guess? 25 free throws? Was that your prediction at the beginning of the game?
For the game. Let's see. He's at 12, 14. He's at 18 now.
So that very well could get there.
Camden Heide. Three. He had a couple very early in the game, but none since then. He's got 13 points. That's his first basket here in the second half, and just the fifth made three-pointer for Wayzata tonight.
Yeah, they just have not shot the ball well tonight. That time he got a good look, nice rotation, squared up, and that was much, much needed. I'll tell you, with 7:25 left, I told you Wayzata is contagious. It's like the flu when they start making threes. So maybe they see that one go in now, and they say, hey, now the lid's taken off. I'm telling you, watch the next couple possessions. If they're able to hit another 1 or 2 threes. Yeah, look at that, 5 for 24.
And Hopkins able to get to the line 21 times. Most of them from Najee.
Yep. And 5 for 24, Wayzata. John, they're talented enough. They could end up the 11 for 32. They could flip it pretty quickly. So let's just see if they can fight. The last 7:25 left. Can they fight? Can they get shots they want? Oh, and there's great effort by Jacob Benega going flying over the bench there. That kid is all heart. Watch this effort, John. Look at him fight for this. Sacrifice his body. Look at the crowd. Everyone giving him a lot of respect. You always respect people that play as hard as he does, and he's win or lose, he's a winner, and he's had a great career here at Wayzata.
Zimmer. And for Deering to Stafford, he gets fouled hard. Stafford says he's all right, and he'll go to the line. Hit his elbow, looks like.
And I tell you, we heard it from where we're sitting. And sometimes it sounds worse than it actually is, so thank goodness. You just think about landing on a head or your shoulder even, and that's one of those where tonight he'll get up during the night and he'll look and he'll have a big bruise on that elbow.
Stafford next year will play at Southwest Minnesota State.
And he's got that great length too. And it's a great spot for him, a great school, good program. He's going to do really well there at that level.
That one up and in.
I tell you, that's kind of the lost art, especially for this Wayzata team, is that one dribble pull up, and Benega took it, knocked it down. Again, that's 2 perimeter shots now to go in a row for Wayzata.
Walden dives and scores.
See how long his strides are? I mean, he ripped it, one long stride, one long dribble, and he's finishing at the rim. You can see why there's a lot of big-time schools wanting his services.
Benega for 3.
But I tell you, JJ, they get contagious.
Benega thought he had drawn the charge. Instead, called for the block.
That last three ball.
Bam, knocked it down. Beautiful shot. Good stroke in rhythm. And look at this, one dribble. And I like the underneath finish with those long arms.
Walton, an 87% free throw shooter on the season. Hits the first and the 1-and-1. That foul on Benninga is his fourth. Ryan.
Yeah, I think with down 16, I think you let it ride, right? Especially, he's kind of showing a little bit of life here, you know, hitting from those last two shots, and he's kind of your heart and soul and your energy. I think you ride with him, and obviously play smart, don't nothing dumb.
Camden Heide keeps it in bounds. Heide, and a foul by Deering. That'll be 4 on Deering. 17th foul on Hopkins, so it's 1-and-1 for Wayzata. Deering out and Fogel back in.
Yeah, Deering just hasn't been able to get into a rhythm yet tonight. Defensively, battle, foul trouble, picking up there is fourth.
At the line, 23, Camden Heide.
Heide makes the first one.
Royals, number 0, Josh Fogel.
Second one also good.
Into the game for the Trojans will be number 3.
Heide will give a brief rest and Connor Hale back in. So the margin's 15. Instead of just on the edge of staying in this one. Down low, Najee. Great pass from Walton.
That was. I didn't even think he saw Zeke Najee. He did not look. That was just kind of knowing where your teammate's going to be and trusting the big fella with great hands, too.
Paulson too strong. Rebounded by Najee. He'll hand off to Fogel.
When you look at the scoring for Wayzata, Luke Paulson, you know, averaging 15 points a game, only at 4 tonight. He just hasn't been able to get shots to drop that he normally does. And Wayzata needs his scoring.
Walton back out, and a steal here by Hale as Benninga with him, and he'll score. 20 points now for the senior.
And he just keeps coming at you. You know what I love about him? You never know what the score is because he plays the same whether he's up 20 or down 20. Just attacking you, relentless, and just keeps coming and coming and coming.
Najee to Stanford in the corner. Gets past Williams and hands off for Zimmer. Zip pass across, Walton. Stanford and then back. Walton to Fogel. We come down to 5 minutes to play in the Section 6 4A championship. Hopkins has led most of the way in a double-digit lead throughout the second half. Fogel, Williams commits the foul. And Fogel go to the line for a 1-and-1.
Williams his second, 19 on the line for a 1-and-1. Number 0, Josh Fogel. In the game for the Trojans, 23, Camden Heide.
First one up and in. The senior's got his first point tonight. Got them both.
Well, do you think he's going to tease Zeke Najee after the game? Like, hey, I can teach you how to shoot free throws.
17-point game again. 4:40 to go. Camden Heide. Nice job by Benninga to save that. Now loads up on the three. Too strong. And Walton gets fouled in the backcourt by Paulson. And it's double bonus time for Hopkins.
When you mentioned it, Kerwin Walton was it 87 or 88%? I mean, that's unreal for high school basketball. Even great shooters are usually, 78, 79. So to have a guy that size, handles the ball that much, to be that good of a free throw shooter, what a luxury to have, especially down the stretch in games when you know teams are going to be fouling. Of course,
jinxed him.
That's all on me. I'm sorry, Kerwin. How many times do you hear that when an announcer tells so-and-so is a great free throw shooter, has never missed, and then they missed the next one.
Not the second one, though. For the most part, Hopkins has been knocking down their free throws here down the stretch, and their lead has not been threatened. 67-49, Williams gets fouled. Foul on Najee.
And again, Cody Williams, when he makes his mind up to turn the corner and go north and south, he can get to the basket with the best of them. And he's got that strong finish, a strong upper body. And that time I thought he went with reckless abandon to the hole, and he forced the referee to make that call. That's a good drive.
First point tonight for Cody Williams. He averages just over 10 a game.
Yeah, it's really between him and Luke Paulson getting 5 combined points. That's where kind of the deficit in scoring has come from.
Yeah, we talk about Najee as an offensive player, but we've seen him block shots tonight and keep rebounds. Not a guy that gets in a lot of foul trouble. That was his first foul tonight.
Well, and how many times you see a team that has a big guy? We're always talking about, and I bring back like Theo John and Alex John for Champlain Park. They're so valuable, but if they can stay on the floor with foul trouble, well, Zeke Najee really does a nice job at defending without fouling. And that time he didn't get a foul trying to block the shot. He was trying to take a charge. So he really does a great job at using his length and not his body to alter and to block shots.
One more coming for the sophomore, Cody Williams. Up and in. Fogle in the front court with the pass to Zimmer. Here's Stafford to the layup.
Well, great job by Fogle breaking that pressure there, and a beautiful pass and a great finish by Stafford.
Paulson to Williams. Back out, Benninga. Trying to get it to Paulson, out of bounds.
Yeah, just a tough, not a lot of room there. A tough angle and a tough place for Luke Paulson to handle that.
Oh, it's off Hopkins. All right. I thought it was off of Paulson. Instead, it's Wayzata basketball. Hale out, Camden Heide back in.
I think, too, we're talking about Hopkins' defenses. Zeke Najee and really Dane Zimmer, their ability, too, John, to defend the perimeter, switching everything and being able to guard shorter, quicker players, too, without being a liability.
Stafford commits the foul. That's his fourth. Penalty to the line. We're a 1-and-1. First one up and in. How much fun has this guy been to watch the last few years,
Yeah.
Ryan?
He really has. I just like I mentioned this broadcast. He's one of those guys you would always want on your team because he's going to compete. And I love practicing with guys like that because practices were competitive and fun. And he just reminds me, whatever drill it is, he's going 110% and wanting to beat you. And you would just respect how hard he plays and how durable he's been and just what a great competitor he is.
And lines up a three and hits, so they get a turnover in the backcourt after he made the 2 free throws.
Yep.
Makes a three, they get a timeout. It's back to a 13-point game.
Yep.
With just under 4 to go. Look at it again. Williams catches a deflected pass. Benninga, no hesitation, and knocks down the three.
What I love there is Luke Paulson, rather than looking for his own shot, was open, recognized his teammate has it going right there, found Benninga, and he stepped right into it and knocks it down. And like I told you, he just keeps coming at you. He never stops. And his energy level and his effort level just never dips, never wavers. He's been a fun player to watch develop over the last few years. And I think there's a 4th grade Benninga boy, so we'll have another 12, 13 years of Benninga,
right.
I'm sure, coming through Wayzata. And when that one breaks the scoring record, they each get to break their older brother's scoring record. I always wonder how that call goes when you break your older brother's record. Do you tease him about it? How does that sound? I'd love to know. And is the older brother really happy about it or not?
One of our reporters, Jason Malone, did a story with Jacob this past week, and he really credited his older brothers, Will and Johnny, in his development and getting to be the player that he is now.
Yeah. I know they're a tight-knit family, and in all seriousness, they all cheer for each other and want each other to do well. And I think you grow up with an older brother who's been successful. It just drives you even more to want to prove that you're at that same level or close to it.
Trojans see if they can force another turnover here. Zimmer ahead to Stafford. He'll take it himself and score.
Yeah, beautiful fake, kind of the little Euro step there.
Williams reverse, gets under Najee to score.
22, Cody Williams.
Backcourt ball deflected. And they get it, beat the press though again and get it to the front court to Stafford. Najee will get it back for Deering. 3:20 to go, 13-point lead again for Hopkins. Deering will hand off for Walton. Hopkins at this point really doesn't have to shoot at all.
No.
You know.
Well, and I'm surprised that Wayzata allowed him to take kind of that 15, 20 seconds off. I thought maybe with Zeke Najee got the ball that time, or Dayton Zimmer, they might try to foul him and put one of those two on the line, or at least try to trap and get a steal out of it.
Stafford is 72% free throw shooter. He is 3 out of 4 tonight. All here in the second half.
In the game for Wayzata, 23, Camden Heidi.
Second one up and also in.
He's got a nice looking shot too. Great rotation, good arc. Got a nice roll there.
3 minutes to go. Here's Paulson. Cut off, back out. Camden Heidi to Williams. A good defense by Hopkins. Walton gets the steal, trying to feed it ahead to Stafford. Able to corral it before it went out of bounds. To Zimmer. Cross to Deering, and now out high to Walton. Nice dish for Zimmer.
You know, Kerwin Walton doesn't look that quick, but he gets that first step, and he's got those long strides. He can get to the basket at will, and just a beautiful pass.
Keaton Heidi with a 3 ball. Walton for Deering, front court to Zimmer and across. Lob up, Najee can't quite get the dunk, but he gets it off the glass.
Come on, Zeke. I think everyone in there, all our viewers, we want to see that monster two-hand slam.
27 now for Najee, 25 for Walton. That 3 won't go. Long rebound comes out to Zimmer. Here you might get it. No, a little reverse layup, a little spin move for 2.
That's so impressive for 6'11" in transition to be able to do that.
Benninga 3 is good.
3-point field goal, number 2, Jacob Benninga.
He's hurt. I don't know if he came down wrong. I'm not thinking an official's timeout here.
You always hate that, worry about that on a jump shot when the defender's feet get caught up underneath you, that you land wrong on that. See if you can see. Look at how deep that was.
Yeah, he just came down on his own wrong, yeah.
That was a good 10 feet behind the three-point line. Wow. I'm sure Coach Snetler's thinking, where were all these threes, you know, for the first 3 quarters of the game? You know, and that's kind of sometimes how it goes, is once the game's, you feel like it's decided, all of a sudden that pressure releases a little bit and you start shooting a little bit more freely. And I'm telling you, if Wayzata could shoot like that from the beginning of the game, this would be a totally different ball game.
28 points for Benninga.
Yeah, he just kept coming and really caught on fire here in the last few minutes.
You know, he's got to come out briefly, but then he's going to check back in, I think. And he's going to run to make sure he's all right. And we'll get back in here in a moment for the finish. 1:45 to go.
See, I go for a foul right there when Dane Zimmer has that ball.
Stafford trying to get it to Deering out of bounds, but touched by Wayzata. And now Benninga in, replacing Hale.
The Trojans will be number 2, Jacob Benninga.
Najee back out high. Walton. Open. Stafford.
Oh, smart.
No need to shoot that, so he didn't. And hands off to Deering.
Smart.
Handoff out of bounds off Wayzata. And a minute 20 to go. You see both these coaches are coaching right to the last second, aren't they?
That's what great coaches do, and these are both two of the best coaches around. There's a reason why they've met in this game, third year in a row, and had very good programs.
Fouls on Cody Williams. And Deering to the free throw line. And Hopkins, to their credit, has made the lion's share of their free throws here, Ryan, the last 8 minutes of the game when they've been sent to the line.
And there's a reason why coaches all over the country spend, usually 10 to 15 minutes every practice shooting free throws, because they can win and lose basketball games. And for Hopkins down the stretch here, they've made them, and that's what's been able to sustain this kind of 10 to 20 point lead that they've had.
Camden Heidi with a three. He's got 18 points, 13-point game with just 1:07 to go. Look at it again.
Again, maybe Wayzata should have been shooting from 25 feet the whole game. They were too close when they were at the three-point line.
Checking into the game for the Trojans, looking number 3, Connor Hale.
And if you're Hopkins, you got to expect here some type of trap. And just again, with their length and their height, having Kerwin Walton at 6'5" be your primary ball handler too, it allows him to see over the defense too, which really is such a big advantage.
Well, if Hopkins hangs on here, Ryan, we talk about more of this in the post game. It'd be interesting to see where they get seated for the state tournament, and a lot of it will depend on how some of the other section finals go, particularly those with the Park Center in it and Prior Lake. But Hopkins would be a tough team to beat if this result holds true here.
I know they'd be the last team I'd want to face, just because if they play their best, I always say if every team played their best, who would win? I think if Hopkins plays their best, I don't think there's a team that can beat them.
Stafford for Osseo.
Oh, Zeke.
He's disappointed you again, Ryan. And then Stafford foul in the backcourt on Benenga.
He gave us, what, 5 the last time we did them?
So that's Stafford's 5th. But been a nice game. They're all those role player guys, and got it done.
He had a really nice all-around game. Had a couple of big offensive rebounds early in the game that led to Kerwin Walton three-pointers that, obviously if you end up winning by 10 to 15, it doesn't seem like big plays, but they were when Wayzata got off to a good start. And those were 6 big points early on, so he had a really nice all-around game.
$30 points now for Benenga. 22 have come in the second half. Through the hands of Zimmer, turnover. Here's Williams. Oh, and then off of Hale, not a bounce. And maybe kind of the last gasp there for Wayzata if they've been able to get that and corral it and knock down another 3. And 11-point game now with 50 seconds to go. Valentin trapped, almost lost it. Zimmer's got it across for Deering, and he gets fouled by Benenga. And Jacob Benenga's great high school career will end here with 43 seconds to go, and a great ovation from the Wayzata fans, and a great career for that young man.
Yeah, very well deserved. I love the emotion. I love that feeling right there. That the two guys that have been together. Coach Schneller probably coached him harder than anyone else, and he probably gave more of himself than anyone else. And that's a good feeling. At the end of the day, win or lose, if you know you gave maximum effort.
Salome Benini, a 6'6" senior, will get in here for Wayzata. Gearing to the line for two. Second one also off, but Zimmer gets the rebound. Walton chases the down. Ball deflected again, and Wayzata's got the steal. Here's Camden Heide, and he gets fouled by Walton.
You can tell Camden Heide was trying to get the timing right for a dunk, and Rowan Walton did not want to let him have that dunk.
Fouls on number 24, Dayton Zimmer, his second.
Heide misses on the first free throw. One more coming. Williams coming in for the shooter Heide. Second one also off, and rebounded by Zimmer. 30 seconds to play. Valentin is fouled.
Foul via number 5, Eddie Bennett.
How's Eddie Bennett go?
The line to shoot 2, I think 13, Rackron Valentin.
Raekwon Valentin with his first point tonight.
Cody Williams.
Williams in, and Wildermuth back in. And Hale comes out, Paulson comes out, both their final moments as Wayzata Trojans. Always tough that last game in Orion.
Just all the feelings of youth basketball and playing with your friends, and it's that finality of it. Even for guys that are playing in college, you're playing with a whole new group, and there's just nothing better than high school basketball and football and baseball and playing with your buddies and your teachers, your community. Really fun.
How about Benini? Misses on the three, gets his own rebound, and follows and scores. Ball into the front court to Zimmer, to Walton. A little reverse won't go. Benini rebounds. Final seconds, that'll do it. Hopkins for the first time in 2016. Section 6 4A boys basketball champions. Well, the margin at halftime was 11. The final margin is 11. Wayzata got a little run, but really wasn't able to head much into that deficit, and Hopkins pulls away to win.
It was just a little too little, too late. I thought if Wayzata could have came out with that energy and that shooting to start the second half, they could have really made this an interesting game. They never quite got going from the three-point land. And I think you give a lot of credit to Hopkins and how they defended Wayzata, and I think Wayzata's thinking, hey, if we did play this game 10 times, we'd never shoot worse than that. But again, congratulations, Wayzata, great year, and congratulations to Hopkins going to the state tournament, finally breaking through. And they have as good a shot as anybody. And in my book, if I was a betting man, John, they'd be my favorite to win the state championship.
Awfully good.
Yeah.
And I think it's some relief for them after losing this game the last couple of years and expected to win again this season. Hey, now we've done it. Now it's on to state. Sometimes there's more pressure in this section championship. You get to state than once you get there.
When you get to state, John, it's usually that first game you got to just get through because it's a new facility, new place. You're not used to shooting there, so.
Presenting the runner-up medals and trophies on behalf of
Fun atmosphere tonight, though, Ryan. These section championship games are fun to watch, aren't they, and fun to do.
Oh, they're fun to watch because there's so much on the line, right? It's that feeling of going to state. You can see the excitement there, the smiles for the Hopkins players. And
We'll stay up for the medal and trophy presentation. Each the runner-up Wayzata will get their medals. Jacob Benninga, final game here tonight.
Number 4, Josh Gullickson.
Well, he's no fun to be runner-up, you know, right? He's the good season that Wayzata's had, and 3 losses to this Hopkins team. The third one's just as tough.
You go through different emotions depending on how old you are. You know, if you're a freshman, you're thinking, I got 3 more years, I'll be fine. You know, if you're a senior, you're just devastated, and it's kind of that uncertainty of what's next, what's college going to be like. And if you're, you know, freshman, sophomore, junior, what do I have to do to get better so that I don't ever have to feel this losing in this game again?
For the guys, though, that are seniors, you know, they did have the experience. I mean, it's tough to lose tonight, but you did get to 2 state tournaments, made history as the first team in over 50 years to represent Wayzata at the state tournament with a 2017 championship. So you leave a good legacy behind as much as tonight hurts.
Well, and a part of that program that really changed Wayzata into a perennial program, right? Not just a good team here and there. They've been perennially good here the last 3-4 years. And this class, this senior class, is a big part of that.
Number 25, Grant Bogovitz.
Got some good talent, obviously, coming back. Williams and Camden Heidi, a sophomore and freshman. And they both had a lot of playing experience already in 2 seasons.
Yep. You know, they're going to be, their roles will be different. Next year, they'll be the leaders, and they'll be, you know, my guess is Camden Heidi's going to have to be a 20 to 22 point scorer game, and Cody Williams is going to have to take that next level and be that consistent scorer and player. And then you give opportunities to some of these other guys. They have a great freshman class that are going to, you know, be sophomores next year. They're going to have a chance to make their mark on this program.
And now will the captains of Wayzata High School please come forward to receive their section runner-up trophy.
The Trojans get their section runner-up trophy that they can bring back to Wayzata.
This year's Section 6 champions.
And the Hopkins Royals are the Section 6 champions. And the Royals will receive their first place medals now, and then
championship medals and trophies.
Trophy as well. And then solid senior class for them. This is their last time playing in a high school gym, so that's always a little different for, you know, Stafford and Najee and Zimmer and Deering and Valentin, Josh Fogel. Calvin Harris didn't play tonight, but he's played some on senior. So pretty big senior class and talented one for Hopkins. They will have Kerwin Walton back and Jalen Tremolo, the guys that played tonight. That's it. Not a bad place to start with.
I take Kerwin Walton coming back too. I think there's most any team in the state would say, hey, I'll take just that guy coming back. It'll be interesting for Kerwin Walton to see his summer. He's a very big AAU player and getting recruited pretty heavily, and just to see kind of what level he ends up at and what programs he'll narrow it down to. But he was fantastic tonight.
No, I'm a Gophers fan, so I'd love to see him in maroon and gold.
I wouldn't count on it.
No.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, over the last couple weekends, you've seen kids from Minnesota playing on Marquette and Wisconsin and Colorado and Texas. I mean, there's kids playing all over the country. If we would have been able to keep some of that in-state talent for the Gophers, we'd have a heck of a team.
Amir Coffey, you know, getting played Hopkins, obviously. And
he's got a great.
Was on that 2016 state championship team.
He's had a great last few weeks to the season here.
I was at that Purdue game that last that senior night, and what a great game that he had. And helping the Gophers defeat the Boilermakers that night. And
is that for sure enough, you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if they beat Penn State tomorrow, they're in. If they, I mean, I think they believe they're in regardless. But I think one more win. You're for sure in. Fun to watch college basketball, though, during a championship week for these conference tournaments. Watched quite a bit this week.
This is a great time of year, just in general, March Madness and at all levels.
Team manager Ryan Woodrick.
And now the trophy opportunity for Hopkins.
Their section championship trophy.
That's a great feeling.
Hopkins with their 24th win of the season. They're going to the state tournament with a 24-4 record. Wayzata rather, finishes the season 19-10 and 0-3 against Hopkins. We'll take time out. We'll hear from a couple of winning players in a moment. You're watching coverage of the Section 6 4A boys basketball tournament on CCX.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother,
yes.
you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Come on! Go, Diane! Yeah, keep it going! Yeah! Go, honey!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane! Woo! You got this!
A lot of smiles for the Hopkins Royals. They walk away tonight with a Section 6 championship, 82-71 over Wayzata. Let's go to Orion Iverson now, standing by with 2 winning Royals players.
Well, I'm with a couple of very happy Hopkins Royals. We'll start with Dane Zimmer. Dane, 2 years in a row, Wayzata eliminated you. Tonight you finally got your payback. How were you guys able to do that?
We just played every possession on defense and couldn't let them shoot. We tried to get out on shooters and play the drive, and I thought it went pretty well.
One of the things about you specifically is obviously a lot of teams pay attention to Zeke down low. Shots go up. I mean, you had to have had 6 or 7 offensive rebounds, extended possessions. How vital is that to your success and for you personally?
Well, I know Zeke always gets doubles, so I can look to cut to the hoop when they double off him, and he usually finds me. And if they don't, then he shoots it, and I'll grab the rebound, and it works pretty well.
How good does it feel to win this section tonight, to know you're going to the state tournament?
I mean, it feels great losing to them the last 2 years, and now get to experience what state's like. So.
And what do you think this team has to do to not only get to state, which you are, but to make a run at the ultimate goal, a state championship?
I think we just got to play defense. On offense, we get it moving. It works every time. We usually get a bucket, but it's defense where we got to step it up.
So if you were guarding this guy one-on-one, could you shut him down?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, congratulations, 11 points, a lot of rebounds. Great job tonight in getting your team to the state.
Thank you.
Good luck. I got Kerwin Walton here tonight. I was saying during the broadcast, I thought you were going to do the Michael Jordan versus the Portland Trailblazer. The shrug, you couldn't miss from three-point land.
Yeah, I mean, I was really locked in before the game mentally because, that's really what helped me, my shot going tonight.
And I think when I was saying it all game long, you know what you're going to get from Zeke as far as scoring usually. If you're shooting like that and basically unguardable, I don't know if there's a team in the state that can guard you guys.
Yeah, because, to be honest, I think we're we're really good 2-on-1-2 punch because, he can shoot the three. He's like, in my opinion, I think he's like the best working down low for the big spot. And, once, if they double him, then usually he'll kick it out to me. So I think we're a really dangerous pair.
Tonight, last 2 years, lost to Wayzata in this game. What was the focus tonight? What did you have to do to take away from them for you guys to get the win?
Mostly just intensity on defense, just getting mentally locked in every time down the floor, playing one possession at a time. Make sure they don't get off on threes, get on the quick runs. That's mostly what we're just focused on, basically just trying to get our one-on-one defense and getting in the gaps so they won't get kickouts are hard to get.
And I thought, too, when teams try to pressure you, you being 6'5", being the primary ball handler, you're able to just look over the top. How key is that for breaking pressure?
I mean, it's big because, you know, it makes the game easier for me, you know, because I see myself as, you know, one of the bigger, stronger guards. And, you know, my teammates, I mean, they know that I'll pass them, so they're always ready for the pass. So it's going to make things much easier for me, too.
So winning tonight, you go to state. How long do you allow yourself to celebrate this moment before you then, hey, we got to get ready to go next Wednesday for the state tournament?
Man, as soon as we get back to the locker room, just locked in, you know, all right, next game. That's what we're going to be focused on, getting to the championship and hopefully winning it all.
Will you go in the locker room and rub Coach Novak's hair and get it all messy for me?
I mean, I don't know if he'll like that, but I'm not even, he likes to think, you know, one game at a time. You know, he's always on the next game, so it's tough to get him to smile sometimes.
You tell him to enjoy tonight because he should enjoy your performance. 25 points, you were absolutely outstanding. Congratulations on a big win tonight.
Yeah, thank you, because it's really tough.
Good luck for the state tournament too, Kerwin.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, great job. Back to you, John.
Great game by that young man, and this Hopkins team really playing a great team game from start to finish. Well, tonight is the first of 3 straight nights that CCX will telecast section finals. Thursday night, we'll have Maple Grove and Buffalo from St. Michael Albertville in Section 8 4A, and then Friday night, Park Center and Champlin Park in Section 5 4A. State High School League rules do not allow us to do those games live, but you can watch each of them at 10 p.m. on those respective nights. That'll do it for our telecast tonight. Great crew tonight here at Osseo High School for CCX and Orion Iverson. I'm John Jacobson. Final score again, it's Hopkins to state. They win it over Wayzata 82-71.